Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Basketball Conference, the ACC Football Podcast. My name's Joey Weaver. He's Mike McDaniel. Mike, week 9 in the books. Got games to talk about. You ready to go?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot going on with like sports gambling scandals and stuff like that. And I would just say, I think Mario Cristobal, he's got to answer the feds, I think, for how that ended for one of my locks, one of our locks.
Yeah.
By the way, so
I was just telling my wife a few minutes ago, we had 2 double barrel locks this week, and both of them felt like they were
home
poor bets or poor beats, if not full on bad beats.
Yeah.
Great week of picks for you boys.
Started 1 minute early. I mean, look, I'd rather be 30 seconds early, but 1 minute early I'll take, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a joke in there somewhere that it's too late. I'm a little bit zapped from this weekend, so I'm not going to be able to get there, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It is 11 o'clock.
All right, real quick.
Yeah.
Tough night to be Brian Kelly, right?
I don't think it's that tough.
Is it though?
No, it's not. it's definitely not. They are just going to continue paying him $800,000 a month, and then they're going to figure the buyout out later. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I know inflation's been bad lately, but I think $800,000 a month's okay.
I think, you know what? I think that would pay the mortgage.
I tell you what.
What
hand
mortgage?
Up, a couple of them.
Hey, anyone out there listening thinks we have bad takes, wants this show to go away,
$800,000 a month.
$800,000 a month, it's gone. You'll never hear us again.
You will never hear from us again. I mean, that's our number.
Take it or leave it.
I was gonna say, I mean, even for a little less, I think about it.
Can negotiate that.
Yeah.
And we're just talking 800 for just the show. We can evenly split that, or you can evenly split between you guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I'll take some residuals. That's fine.
Does not have to be 800 each. This is
no
800 spread amongst the 3 of us would be plenty.
Well, this has been a very focused and targeted start to the show. So shout out to the people in the chat with us. We are live, youtube.com/@the-ACC Football Podcast. It is 11 o'clock on the East Coast, Sunday, October the 26th. We got 7 ACC contests to talk about and some outcomes coming out of those games. Outcomes coming out of the games. Good job, Joey. We're really on a heater here to start. Producer Scott, as you can tell, in the house with us. Scott, how you doing?
Doing well. I gotta say to the fans out there, glad I'm not the host because I only watched the Virginia Tech game because I'm a dad and I had things to do yesterday.
Yeah, busy weekend on my end as well. So watched as much as we could. Going to do our best here tonight, but appreciate any grace that you can offer, as might not have every last detail queued up and ready to go for you guys. Just if we're being honest.
I watched a lot of these.
There you go. Then you better not mess anything up.
Yeah, I know.
There you go. Mike, Scott, anything else before we do a Rhoback rapid recap?
No, sir.
As a reminder, use promo code GOACC20 at checkout for 20% off your first order at Rhoback.com for all sorts of fantastic athleisure wear, polos, quarter zips, all sorts of great stuff over at Rhoback.com. Go check out the game day collection. They got all sorts of things for most of the ACC out there. Highly recommended. I wore some to church this morning. Felt great.
Yeah,
it was way too warm for the quarter zip, but I was itching to wear it.
That's really sad that it was too warm for the corner zip. We got some premier fall weather up here in Virginia. They just dropped, I think, a whole set of they're called Ready hoodies, and they have the different schools if you're a part of the game day collection. Also, just warm, comfortable. I've been eyeing up stuff for my Christmas list. It's almost that time, people. It's not quite that time. It's almost that time. So if you see something you got your eye on it, just remember our promo code. That's all.
That's right. Go hit it. You all ready to jump in?
We are ready to go.
10 minutes on the clock.
Rhoback rapid recap in 3, 2, 1. Let's start Friday night. Virginia Tech 42, Cal 34 in double overtime. Gutsy effort for the Hokies. Pulled this one out. Should have had it and then didn't have it and then had it at the end. And, you take it.
Kyron Drones, game ball, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Game ball. Put the team on his back.
Kyron Drones run the damn ball, by the way.
Yeah, run the rock, baby. Run the rock. Big win for the Hokies.
Yeah. 3-5,
Huge.
getting closer to bowl eligibility. And in a year like this, I mean, you take that.
Yeah, surprisingly competent performance. Defense looked bad in the second quarter, but largely played pretty well. Offensively, they found some stuff in the second half in the quarterback power game in particular and just spammed the hell out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Left me wondering, why have we not been doing this the whole time with Kyron Drones? And
Yep.
my understanding is the answer to that is we're not sure.
Not sure, which is why they're on an interim.
Yeah.
Hey, that interim, 2-1 in one-score games.
That's right.
Which is objectively hilarious, by the
Yes.
way.
And
No,
objectively better than the last guy.
It's not objectively. Objectively is true. It's Brett Price sucked.
Also objectively true. Anyways, to Saturday, Georgia Tech 41, Syracuse 16. Really, honestly, good effort, complete showing from Georgia Tech. Like probably the best that we've seen all year, especially opponent adjusted. Haynes King, I hope you got a Heisman ticket on him there a week ago when I was tweeting about 50-1 being the best price you're going to get, because starting to get a little bit of national chatter, and this is a good time of the year to be getting that national chatter.
I would say so. For everybody saying I've been too critical of Georgia Tech, this is the performance I was waiting for. All I was asking is for Georgia Tech to smoke some bad teams, and they did that.
Yeah.
So good on Haynes King. He should be in New York. I don't understand the Diego Pavia hype outside of he plays for Vanderbilt and they're a fun story. He is not the quarterback that Haynes King is.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet this afternoon saying that Haynes King is what everybody thinks Diego Pavia is, which I appreciate Pavia's game a lot, but statistically speaking, Haynes King has been putting up the actual numbers this year, and he should be in New York.
For Syracuse, Ricky Collins, I mean, he's trying. He's doing his best. But it's, man, he just misses on a lot of throws, and yeah, it's just not there. Syracuse also pretty banged up on defense. Just not the Oranges year.
Yeah, he's just not ready for.
Yeah.
This will probably help him in the future.
Yeah. Miami 42, Stanford 7. Okay, this game was tied at halftime.
Federal prison, Mario Cristobal. Federal prison.
If somebody, and I didn't get to look, but if somebody in the post-game press conference asked Mario Cristobal, why are we still running offense, throwing the ball, by the way, with less than 2 minutes left, trying to punch one more in, there is one acceptable answer. I knew the spread. That's the only thing, especially for Mario J. Cristobal. I don't know what his middle name is. I'm going with J. Mario Cristobal, of all people, running offense late in a game that's over.
Yep.
Only one reason. Just admit it.
Middle name Manuel.
Yeah. Mario Manny Cristobal, who replaced Manny Diaz. Okay, all right.
Yep. Okay. Got that straight. Keep that straight, Joey. We're good.
Sure.
Yeah, he knew the spread and he knew the Miami team total.
Yeah.
And he knew that we locked it up.
Right. Most importantly.
It would be a bad beat for us, which makes it funnier for tonight.
Yeah.
Federal prison.
Really unimpressive first half, I felt like, from Miami here, and especially trying to run the ball. Like, it was not going well. Stanford's defense was giving them a lot of hell, and that's not really what I would expect to see from a team in Miami that is supposedly a potential top offensive line in the country. It's a couple weeks in a row now that I've been less than impressed with that offensive line. We'll talk more about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Virginia 17, North Carolina 16 in overtime. Bill Belichick, by the way, chooses to go for 2 at the end of the first overtime. Which,
thumbs up.
Thank you.
Thumbs up.
It didn't work. It's the right decision.
It only took one of the greatest coaches of all time to do something that I've been begging college coaches to do all season long. I've only seen it a couple times, and surprise, Bill Belichick did it.
I have seen everyone yelling about it. It's like the only people that don't know to do it are the coaches.
I know.
Everyone else is just saying, just do it.
Screaming. So it didn't work out. They came literally inches short from which story of Bill Belichick's life, maybe? No? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
they had another wide receiver fumbling as they're trying to cross the goal line situation in this game too, so they keep doing that. So they're trying to figure out how to win. The one thing I will say is North Carolina's defense is playing a lot better. They're figuring some stuff out, especially up front, which I think if you're a Carolina fan is probably an encouraging sign that maybe it's not totally an abject disaster. The media stuff's been bad, but the last 2 weeks they're playing a little bit better. Offensively, they're still kind of a mess. UVA keeps getting away with it.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this is just another example because Carolina's defense does seem like they're improving. Offense, not improving. And the fact that Virginia only mustered 10 points in regulation here and came this close to losing to a bottom 3 team in the league.
Yep.
Not really what a top 20 team should be doing at this time of the year, if we're all being honest.
Especially coming off of needing a safety last week against Washington State.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Louisville 38, Boston College 24. I think that score looks a little bit more comfortable than that game ended up going.
Yeah.
Louisville really playing with their food here. They do end up winning kind of comfortably, but very unfocused effort, I felt like, from the Cardinals.
Whelmed by the Louisville performance. Whelmed.
Yeah. But Jeff Brom made a big deal about trying not to have the letdown after the Miami win.
Mm-hmm.
They almost did. I think if they were playing anybody better than Boston College, they might have gotten beaten last night.
Yeah. Not great.
Not ideal. Wake Forest 13, SMU 12. Wake kicks a long field goal at the end of regulation that, by my measure, Mike, I texted you this. If that holder sets up 6 inches further away, I don't know if that ball is going. Like that ball, that was by the thinnest of margins field goal I have ever seen. But it goes a 50-yarder at the horn, and Wake wins, knocking off SMU, giving them their first loss in conference play since before they joined the ACC.
Yeah, CW underdogs.
Championship game last year.
CW underdogs. Yep.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know why we're not just tailing CW underdogs for generational wealth at this point, but that's why we're doing a podcast and we have a number. We have an exit number.
Yeah.
Deshaun Purdy started this game for Wake. Robbie Ashford was a little banged up. We did see Robbie Ashford in this game, by the way. He still played. This was a Deshaun Purdy game again for Wake Forest. The story for me is on the SMU side. A despicable offensive performance. Only 8 first downs in this game, 4 for 17 on third down, only 246 yards of total offense against a very, very average Wake Forest defense. This was a very poor performance by SMU's offense in particular.
Yeah. I don't know if this is a look-ahead spot, if this is just a total snoozer kind of spot being on the road in Winston-Salem at noon, but
sloppy.
Not what you want from SMU's offense here.
Sloppy.
Very sloppy. Last one, Pitt 53, NC State 34. NC State's defense has seen better days here. Pitt's offense seeing some of the best days it's seen all year.
Mason Heinschel set a freshman school record for passing yards. He went for, 423 in this game. Yeah, this was... they got middle aided to death in this one as well. NC State did. This is tough.
Yeah.
This is tough.
We're going to take a look at the Pitt drive chart here as it relates to NC State's defense. It is not pretty for the Wolfpack.
Yep.
But again, good showing from Pitt's offense here.
Very good showing.
Yep. Anything else for the rapid recap?
No, we're good.
That'll do it. As a reminder, use promo code GOACC20 at checkout for 20% off your first order at Rhoback.com. Mike, where do you want to start?
Oh, we can start pretty much anywhere. I think the most interesting game this weekend was probably Virginia, North Carolina.
Yeah. Number 16, Virginia 17, North Carolina 16 in overtime.
So I paid close attention to this one because I wanted to see if Virginia would get back to the Virginia of old in terms of kind of what they were against Florida State about a month ago. And I will say Chandler Morris is pretty banged up, I think. Now, he took some shots in this game. North Carolina's defensive line really got after him. I thought UVA's offensive line had a lot of trouble blocking North Carolina's front. UNC finishes with 6 sacks and 7 tackles for loss here, which I think tells you just about everything you need to know. Virginia really had a hell of a time trying to run the ball. Morris threw it 35 times here as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just getting hit after hit after hit after hit. Against any competent offense, they lose this game.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
Washington State's offense is better than North Carolina's. Like, this is how last week should have gone, right? Where you kind of play with your food and then, like, you lose. Like, Washington State hits the gas. North Carolina doesn't have that. They can't hit the accelerator offensively. They're having trouble scraping together a couple touchdowns per game. A lot of times it's North Carolina doing it to themselves. Like, they, again, had another goal line fumble, which resulted in a touchback. Like, that's the second straight week they've done it. It's now cost them twice on the scoreboard in terms of, like, the margin of victory, which is really tough. Gio Lopez threw 2 interceptions here. So a lot of times it's Carolina's offense doing it to themselves. Like, they'll have a chunk play and then they'll turn it over, or they'll have a really bad penalty. They're just really bad on that side of the ball in particular. Defense has been the better of the 2 units for Carolina all year long. It's gotten better the last 2 weeks, and I think some of that is obviously, I thought last week especially, was opponent adjusted, because Cal's offense is obviously not what Virginia's has been coming into this game. But I thought this was a very good performance for North Carolina's defense, considering what Virginia's offense has been this year. Now, the last few weeks for Virginia's offense has not been as good as it was early in the year. And I think Morris being banged up does have a bit to do with that. But yeah, Virginia's now 4-0 in league play. They're 7-1. They're in the top 15. But Virginia is another one of those teams, and another because I was previously talking like this about Georgia Tech, where I was like, all right, there are a number of teams behind them I'd pick over them. And it's more true for Virginia than it is for Georgia Tech.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. And I mean, this is now 2 games coming out of the bye week where Virginia has now scored a grand total of 30 points on offense in regulation in 2 games.
Yep.
That's not great. They came out under 4 yards per play in this game. They had a +2 turnover margin. They got outgained by almost 100 yards. I mean, this is a game you should have won with relative ease, and yet you kind of, you're just hanging on for dear life. And
should have lost.
You should have. Again, Chandler Morris, I mean, he got sacked 6 times in this game. So whatever level of banged up he was coming in, it's probably not better getting out of this one.
Right.
They had major issues running the ball all day. Again, credit to Virginia's defense for doing what they had to do. I mean, they were mostly able to stymie North Carolina's offense, but again, North Carolina still comes up with 350 yards in this game. I mean, this is not a North Carolina offense that has done that much, and I still was not that impressed with them, even though that 350 yards number looks okay on paper. Virginia fans got to be mad about it. You know what? You're 7-1. I can't say anything about that. You're 4-0 in the conference. Can't say anything about that. But keep playing like this. Somebody's going to get you. And then we get to the point of, whoa, look who we got left on the schedule.
But I was about to ask you. This is how
close North Carolina got, okay?
I was about to ask you. They have 4 games remaining. They travel to Cal next week, where they are a 3.5-point road favorite. Home against Wade.
Hold on. Sorry.
Hit him with a home
finger slipped and hit that button for some reason.
Wake Forest at Duke, and then home against Virginia Tech. There is a non-zero chance that they lose at least 2 of these final 4 games with the way they've been playing the last couple of weeks.
Virginia fans are going to get real mad here in just a second. Mike, I could come up with an argument that they lose out from here.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be real mad. You're right.
They're going to get real mad about that.
They're gonna get real mad.
You feel great about them flying across the country to play Cal, who has not been that great, but like can be a little bit plucky. You feel good about them playing like a Wake Forest team that is playing with their hair on fire and has been winning everything else that they've played in conference, other than the one Georgia Tech game that Georgia Tech completely legitimately beat them in. You think that like Virginia's definitely going into Durham and beating a Duke team that has had a kind of a high ceiling, and you think that they're definitely going to beat the Hokies, which whatever the Hokies are, it still has that VT logo on the helmet, and that has been a big problem for Virginia almost, as long as I can remember. So
And they got a little bit of North Carolina in them, in that they still play pretty hard. Like they might not be good, but they still play hard, which was a problem for Cal, by the way, which we'll get into.
Exactly. So I feel like you are still very much in treacherous waters here if you're Virginia playing like this with these 4 games left on your schedule. It feels good right now. It's going well. I'm just telling you, I need to see a little bit more of what they looked like against Florida State and Stanford, and to some degree even against NC State earlier in the year. If they're going to have if they're going to have a decent shot at running the table here, because it is hard to win, and good on them. They've been winning. Like, good teams win, and you make the plays you got to make, and that kind of thing. But man, the margin is really, really, really thin for Virginia right now. And I'm sure you keep rolling those dice, it'll keep coming up with all 6s. It's I'm sure.
Yeah. It would be a shame to start the year 7-1 and finish the regular season 7-5, wouldn't it?
Man, that'd be wild.
Sounds like Pitt from last year.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
Sounds a lot like Pitt from last year.
Yep.
By the way, Pitt, we'll get into them in a bit, but inside track to Charlotte.
I mean, I think they control their own destiny. If I'm not, I mean, does anyone in this conference control their own destiny at this point? I don't even know. Well,
Georgia
Tech.
The Jackets do.
Virginia too. I mean, those are the teams that haven't lost, I guess. But I
never lost.
Would also be remiss. Not only did North Carolina go for 2 in overtime, Mike, they were so damn close again.
Again.
They have. I mean, if you were one of these people for North Carolina, a North Carolina fan that is like still kind of living and dying by the way this team is playing, you are devastated with the way that the last couple of games have gone.
Yeah.
And the way that they have lost them, because it is, again, that's also, you're on the other side of that razor thin margin that, you just need anything but snake eyes to come up when you roll those dice, and it just keeps coming up snake eyes.
And I understand the team's bad, right? But there's also some variance here, right? Some luck involved, or some bad luck involved, where it's like you're fumbling right at the goal line twice for it to go out of the end zone for a touchback, and it's essentially deciding 2 games. You have you're inches away on the 2-point conversion, right? Like you're stretching the ball out, like trying to get to the pylon. You're literally inches short, and that's how you lose the game. And some of that is like, they're not a very good team, but also I think there are some pretty bad teams that have better records in this conference so far, right? Like, I don't know, man. Like, we'll talk about Cal in a second, but we made jokes on the preview about Cal being the worst 5-2 team in the country. Like, Cal's a good example where it's like North Carolina just played them last week, like essentially to the buzzer, right? And fumbles out of the end zone to lose that game. North Carolina could just as easily be 4-3 and 2-1 in league play. And instead they're sitting here 2-5 and 0-3, right? Which obviously isn't good when you got all the other off-field distractions going on.
Yeah.
But it's razor thin margins for the mediocre to bad teams in this league.
Yeah. And Dennis makes a great point. Once again, Virginia, not only they've won 3 games so far in overtime, 3 of their 4 ACC wins have come in overtime.
Yes.
And this is also the 3rd of those 4 ACC wins that has had a sub 50% post-game win expectancy by SP+. This one had 43.8%. So let's go refresh. Who are the luckiest teams in the country by SP+ and all those metrics? Oh, look, Virginia 2.5 wins over expected. The next luckiest team on here is Alabama at 1 point. Like,
is Virginia the luckiest team in the country? That's an honest question. I'm like asking based on whatever you're reading.
The metrics would say that they are. Yes, at least this metric would. So,
Yeah.
And before you get mad at me, Georgia Tech is number 4 in luck in the country at plus 1.77, just a shade behind Alabama. So I'm just saying, man, you're on a friggin' magic carpet ride right now. If you're Virginia, I hope you're enjoying it. Hope it's been fun. Don't want to crap on anyone's Cheerios. Just saying, this is unlikely to keep up if you keep playing with this level of margin. That's what I'm saying.
I agree. Yeah, especially with the teams that are very coin flippy down the stretch here.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. That's all I got in this game. Anything else, Mike, before we move on?
I'm good. Scott, you got anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that, like, I think you touched briefly on like who controls their own destiny going forward. I think it's going to kind of figure itself out. SMU's hosting Miami this week, I think, or next week.
That's an elimination game.
Then Miami then later plays Pitt, so that'll figure that self out. Louisville then plays SMU also, I believe. I'm checking.
I think that's right.
Yeah, Louisville plays SMU in a couple weeks, so I think most of that's going to work itself out. Georgia Tech plays Pitt as well, so that's going to figure itself out.
Yep.
I think it's going to mostly figure itself out. I will say that this Miami SMU game is probably a de facto elimination game from the ACC title race, I would say. So that's this week.
Any outside chance you have in making a run at Charlotte, I mean, this is definite. I agree. This feels like an elimination game.
Yep. Whichever one of those teams is going to have 2 losses, and
right.
I mean, you're really, really asking for some help at that point if you're going to find a way in with 2 losses. So,
you're losing a bunch of tiebreakers. Depending on how it falls, you're losing a bunch of tiebreakers to teams in front of you too, right? So like you could finish with the same record and be losing 2 separate tiebreakers. It'd just be okay. We don't really have a shot, even though we have the same record.
Right. That was it. That's all I want to add.
Yeah. And if you think that this is like, oh, this is probably unlikely that we're going to get this deep into tiebreakers. Have you seen the Big 12 last year? Because
I know.
Going into the final week of the season, there was like a 16 level thing of like, well, if this team beats this team by a certain number of points, then I mean,
it's wide open again. By the way, they got 5 teams vying for 2 spots. It's very similar in the Big 12 again this year.
Welcome to having 17 teams in your friggin' conference.
Yeah.
College football rocks these days. Anyways, Virginia 17, North Carolina 16 in overtime.
Good stuff. Let's talk about the Hokies before we talk about the Jackets.
Let's talk about the Hokies. On Friday night, Virginia Tech 42, Cal 34 in double overtime.
So, I mean, pretty simple here. Tech was coming off a bye. I thought defensively played really well in the first quarter. Pretty clear, fresh legs, rallying to the ball, all that good stuff. Obviously got off to a really good start. And then second quarter was bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like 3 and outs, not sustaining drives offensively, defensively getting gashed. Bad quarter, right? I mean, they were outscored 17-0 in the second. They were trailing by 10 at halftime. Game felt like it totally flipped. And then they figured something out at halftime because the game flipped again, like back in the Hokies' direction. It was almost like they played one bad quarter of football in this game and then played pretty well the rest of the way. It's easy, like from a defense standpoint for Virginia Tech to remember like how bad the second quarter was, but then you look at the final game stats and you're like, actually, the Tech's defense played pretty well here. Like they gave up, it was double overtime game. They gave up 34 points, but they gave up half of them in the second quarter. And you look at the rest of the game, and it wasn't that bad. Like Cal, from a box score standpoint, they really struggled to run it here. They finished, it was 5 for 14 on third down. So, I mean, Virginia Tech was pretty consistently getting off the field. Cal was held to 325 yards of total offense. JKS was in hell. I mean, he was getting bum rushed all night. Pause. 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss. Yeah, I mean, it was a good performance, I thought, by Virginia Tech's defense. But the story of the game was Kyron Drones. Ran the hell out of the, and really by extension Marcellus Hawkins as well in the running game had a really good night as well.
Those two guys combined for 300 yards, I think, on the ground, if my math is right.
Yeah, for sure. And Drones hit on he had a heinous interception, but he also hit on a couple of big time throws. We were texting about in the chat Friday night. One of Drone's best throws of the season wasn't even caught. Takai Heath dropped it on the sideline. Now he made up for it. He got a touchdown on the post and he caught the touchdown in overtime. So he definitely made up for the drop. Scored literally like 2 plays after the drop on the post route where he just roasted Cal secondary.
There were a couple of brutal drops from Hokie receivers in this game, and by Cal receivers too, by the way.
Yes.
Neither of these quarterbacks got a ton of help from their team.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. The stat lines, I think, from a passing standpoint, are a little bit misleading for both guys.
Mm-hmm.
The officiating was heinous.
Yes.
I mean, horrible
so
officiating
bad.
here, man. Like, to the point where, like, I'm going to make some jokes about Mario Cristobal in a few minutes about how he should be investigated and all this stuff for the spread. But, like, some of these calls that were made were baffling. I mean, they waved off. First of all, they called 2 targeting calls, which weren't even, neither one was even close.
Yeah.
You could maybe make an argument for the first one where I forget which Virginia Tech defender it was that got called for targeting over the middle, but I thought live it was shoulder, and then I saw the replay and I was like, that wasn't even close. And then I think it was Isaiah Cash or Tyson Flowers, I can't remember, one of Virginia Tech safeties on a play late was running over and like essentially couldn't stop himself by the goal line. It was an incomplete pass, and he basically just like couldn't stop his forward momentum, and he went shoulder to helmet with a Cal receiver, and they called that targeting. I'm like, what are we doing? And then of course the worst call of them all was the one that set up Cal's final touchdown of regulation, which put the game into overtime to begin with, where JKS essentially took a shotgun snap, jumped up. If you haven't seen this, go find it. He essentially tried to make like a jump pass, and because he jumped, 2 Virginia Tech defenders
like
sandwiched him, including Caleb Woodson, Virginia Tech's best linebacker, sandwiched him and took him to the ground. And by the way, it was also like the ball was fumbled. By the way, or I don't know if they call it an incomplete pass or what.
It was fumbled and recovered by Cal.
But they didn't even hit him that hard. Like, it looked way worse than it was. Like, the ball got knocked out, and like he went to the ground because he was in the air when he got tackled, and he didn't even get hit that hard. But they essentially threw the flag for them like pile driving him into the ground when JKS was the cause of that.
Yeah.
If he doesn't jump there, they never throw that flag.
That's what that's what I was so mad watching. I was like, for what? Like, what did they do? What are they supposed to do there? Like, I think I tweeted out at that point. It's like, I actually got flagged by this officiating crew for gently laying my 1-year-old in his crib for bed tonight. Like, what are they supposed to do there? It's football.
It was the second one too. Like, they called a soft one on drones earlier, and I'm like, if you're gonna call a makeup call, I guess that's a heck of a time to do it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This crew, there were wonky calls all night, and that one was really the cherry on top. And I was partially mad. If we're all being just very honest with each other, I was partially mad there because that was 3rd and goal from the 5 for Cal. Yeah. It was 27-20 with under 3 minutes to go. Cal was about to have 4th and goal from the 13. And if they don't get that, the Hokies have been running the ball well enough. They're going to run out the clock. Game's over. And our lock of under 50.5 comes in.
Yeah.
Or if Cal decides, well, this is too risky, kick the field goal, maybe try to get the ball back, it's still under 50.5. But instead, they've now got 1st and goal from the 2, and they promptly punch it in. And now we're going to overtime, and the whole thing is gone fugazi. So anyways,
and they run the total up to 76, by the way, in double overtime, of course.
Right. Yeah.
Making this look like it wasn't even close when I thought we had those, this one, and of course, Miami bet, which we'll talk about. I thought we had both of those locks won.
Yeah. We'll get back to that one. I like you said, kind of a weird game from a scripting standpoint. Hokies were dominant in the first quarter, kind of came out real hot. And then all of a sudden, I mean, Cal just scores 20 points in a row. And then the Hokies basically owned the second half. And it was that late score that was, again, a little bit iffy that allowed Cal to push this into overtime. So kind of a game of runs the way that it worked out. But as mentioned, I mean, I thought this was one of Kyron Drone's best games I've seen from him at Virginia Tech.
Period.
Yep, and it's funny because his passing line really doesn't look that good. And he had, as we mentioned, he had a couple of pretty good throws. including a couple that were dropped that he should have gotten some more help on, but more the way that he ran the ball in this game and the way that kind of set up the Hokies offense. I don't know why we haven't seen this from him in recent years, because he's always had the mobility, the escapability, the ability to extend the play in the pocket. But like him being added to the run game, again, 21 carries in this game tonight. 3 of them were sacks, but 18 carries, some of them scrambles, some of them designed runs. Like they went for 350 on the ground. Like, where has that been?
Yeah, they found something and they spammed it. This was Ricky's in the comments tonight. I told Ricky on Hokie Hanger, which I recorded right before this, that this was a lot like the Miami game last year for Virginia Tech, in that like Virginia Tech found a play that was working, right? They found something in the outside run game last year with Tootin, right? And they ran the hell. I mean, they just ran the hell out of it, spammed it.
Yep.
They found something here with Kyron Drones in quarterback power. They found something with Hawkins off tackle. Like there were some things that were cooking in the run game in the second half, and they stuck to it. They had a stretch where it was like 19 out of 20. I told Ricky, I got to go back and look. 19 out of 21 or 18 out of their 21 plays that they ran like during some time span there in the second half were run plays. I mean, they were just running. And Drones does his best work on the ground, clearly. And it opens up the pass as we saw in this game. Like he finished 9 of 18. Numbers don't look great. He did throw 3 touchdowns. A couple of them were pretty. Like he threw the one to Aiden Green in the first quarter. That was a good throw. Like Green adjusted one-on-one coverage. That was a good throw. The post route to Heath, a good throw. The one in overtime was behind Heath, but in a tight window, right? Not his best throw of the night. Better catch. But he made some plays in the passing game here, and that was a result of what opened with, him being able to press the issue running the football. So, we'll see down the stretch. I'm wondering if they can pick off one more. I mean, we make the jokes about Virginia. I think Virginia keeps playing like they're playing right now. I think that game is winnable. Louisville we'll talk about, playing with their food a little bit. I don't think Virginia Tech has a great chance there, even though it's at home, because Louisville's defense is so good. But at Florida State, they're quitting. And then Miami, Virginia Tech should get blown out there, right? They should. They should have also lost that game by more than they did last year, right? Arguably should have won that game a year ago. Different Miami team. Virginia Tech's on interim, different circumstance. Yeah. But can you squeeze out one more win out of this closing 4-game stretch, right? And if it's going to be one, I would love for it to be the finale.
Of course you would. Because you know what we say around here, Mike.
Virginia is awesome.
I mean, the game is in Blacksburg. They'll have the weather advantage. That doesn't mean a whole lot, but those college kids, they're kind of soft sometimes with the weather.
Yeah. That road trip to Tallahassee could be a beautiful mess of a football game.
That total could be like 44.5 or something.
I don't think they've announced it yet, but that's 100% going to be the CW game. 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Massive CW vibes.
Yeah.
I was talking about Miami coming to Blacksburg.
Oh, Miami. Yeah.
Ricky in the comments mentioning that game's in Charlottesville. Different game. Real quick, JKS for Cal. I feel like this was a decent experience of like, if you're trying to watch and get a sense of like what he is, what he does. Bit of a big play hunter, has a cannon of a left arm, makes some beautiful throws, a bit inconsistent, doesn't get enough help from his teammates at times. But the tools are there. And, if Cal is able to keep him around, I hope that they are. And I hate that we've gotten to the era of college football where this is the conversation we have to have while you have a player and you're having this kind of season.
Yeah,
but if Cal is able to keep him around and develop him a little bit, he has the potential and the tools to be a really special player here in a couple of years. So that's a really good get for them. I think the story was he was maybe committed to Cal and then flipped to Oregon, and then was he like a post signing day flip to Cal somehow? But he has been.
He would have been so good in Will Stein's offense. Oh my God!
But he's I think he's maybe hitting a little bit of a freshman wall, but there's some tools there. There's some things to develop, and we'll see how his career goes. But not quite enough here on this particular night in Blacksburg. So Is what it is. Anything else in this game, Mike?
Nice win for the Hokies, man.
Yeah, I agree. Virginia Tech 42, Cal 34 in double overtime. By the way,
we don't get many of them, so got to celebrate the dubs.
By the way, in keeping consistent with our theme here, Philip Montgomery, go for it at the end of the first overtime.
I was screaming.
You're the interim coach. You like live for today, man. Actually, I think it was Richard Johnson. I heard maybe on the preview this week or something that he made the comment, the goal of playing football is not to play more football. End the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. Just had to call that out. You won anyways, but come on.
And you had a good 2-point play. It worked in the second overtime. You had a good 2-point play.
So just use it.
It was literally just QB power.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't stop it.
I was going to say it had worked the previous 15 times you ran it in the second half. Just do it again. So anyways. All right. Where to, Mike?
We can speed it up because there's some blowouts here. But there are a couple of interesting games to talk about. First, we'll talk about your Jackets. Joey.
Let's do that.
Joey, give the score like you always do.
Number 7, Georgia Tech 41, Syracuse 16.
The only thing I want to say about this game, my only thought, because this was a blowout. Georgia Tech played great here.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia Tech played great here. That's my only take. They played great. They looked good. They pulled away. They did everything you want them to do. This is what I was screaming about. Like when you're playing teams like this, blow them out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like check that box. Haynes King was unbelievable in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. He was so good in this football game.
Yep.
You know, there were 2 quarterbacks in the conference this weekend who put their teams on their back, and they played for our alma maters, Joey. Like Haynes King was really, really good here.
Mm-hmm.
Running, throwing, just putting pressure on Syracuse whenever the Jackets had the ball. And Georgia Tech is the favorite to win the ACC. I don't know what the odds say. I don't know. Maybe they still say Miami because Miami might not even make it to Charlotte. Georgia Tech's the favorite. Do I think Miami's better than Georgia Tech? Yes, I do. Georgia Tech's the favorite, though. Miami might not make it to Charlotte.
Yeah.
They clearly got a good team. I'll take Georgia Tech against whoever they're going to play in Charlotte, not named Miami, right? Georgia Tech, you put them on the field with Pitt. I'm taking Georgia Tech. Pitt's been playing well now.
Take them over Louisville?
I'll absolutely take them over Louisville.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fair.
Yeah, with how that offense has looked, man, for the Cardinals, a little clunky. Louisville's got good defense, but yeah, I'm taking Georgia Tech there. Taking them against Duke. Like if Duke found a way to like win some tiebreakers, sneak in. Like anyway, they're the favorites to win the ACC. Haynes King should absolutely be in New York as a Heisman finalist. Absolutely. You can't name 5 players in the sport playing better right now than Haynes King.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, I know that this is a year where the Heisman's wide open. I know Ty Simpson's probably the favorite because of what Alabama's been doing. He had a little bit of an off day yesterday against South Carolina, but he's been really, really good. But like this is a year where I think it's going to be a lot of quarterbacks as Heisman finalists, just given the state of the sport this year. And it's a wide open race. Haynes King should be in New York. He's been really, really good. And he's been consistently good all year. This hasn't been a Haynes King problem. The questions I've had have been other stuff.
Right.
Defense, run game, and Jamal Haynes, great player, but like run game at times outside of Haynes King. Like those have been my questions with Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
And they passed a lot. They passed a bit. This was a big test for me watching this game on Saturday, just because this was an opponent you should beat soundly, and they did.
Yeah. I would agree with that. That this is, and what's funny is I'm going to say this. I was thinking this, and then I heard Brent Key's post-game press conference, and he said the exact same thing. This is the most complete game that Georgia Tech has played all year.
Yeah.
Opponent adjusted.
Yep.
They beat Gardner-Webb more than this, but like Syracuse, obviously a lot tougher than Gardner-Webb to play against. It's funny the way that it worked out. I mean, Georgia Tech starts with the ball in this game, On the second play of the game, they throw a little out pass. It's caught by Isaiah Canyon, fumble picked up by Syracuse. Syracuse first play from scrimmage is a run all the way down to the 1 yard line. And at that point, you're like, are they seriously going to start this game by getting possession to start and then letting Syracuse punch it in less than a minute? But to the defense's credit, they didn't. They held Syracuse to a field goal.
Mm-hmm. And
then from there, it was largely just all Georgia Tech from the rest of the way. Offense settled in. They only punted twice, I think, in this game, if my math is correct. It was steady. It was consistent. I liked the mixed up game play calling from Buster Faulkner here. I felt like they mixed in the passing a lot more than they have in recent weeks, and it did a nice job of keeping Syracuse's defense kind of off balance at times. Syracuse did have a couple of defensive injuries already coming into this game, had a couple more during this game that were obviously not helpful for the Orange. But again, as you mentioned, Haynes King was excellent. He was absolutely phenomenal in this game. 5 touchdowns altogether, 300 yards through the air, almost 100 on the ground. Outstanding. Really a complete effort from him. Nuke Jacket mentions Josh Beetham had a very interesting game. So I think they mentioned on the broadcast he only had 2 or 3 catches on the year coming in. He has 2 catches for 34 yards and 2 touchdowns in the box score. What that doesn't tell you is that he had 2 drops that would have been walk-in touchdowns. He would have had 4 receiving touchdowns in this game if he had held on to the ball in a couple of occasions. But good for him getting a couple of scores there. I don't have a lot to really good from Georgia Tech. And one of the other things that Brent Key mentioned in his press conference after this game is this is the time of year that you would like to see your team starting to play at their best. And I think that's a valid point, is that you'd like to see them playing their best games in week 8 and week 9 more, or, week 9, week 10, whatever, rather than week 2 and week 3. So I was impressed with the way that they just took care of business here and really never let Syracuse into this game after that first 5 minutes of the first half, basically. Really complete effort from Georgia Tech. Really, really impressed, really proud of them. Great crowd, by the way. It was homecoming. Homecoming often gets good crowds, but I think they said this is the first time they've sold out. They've sold out Bobby Dodd Stadium against an ACC opponent in 10 years. And so was impressed by that as well. A lot of good vibes. I get a little nervous. Next week, you're going to Raleigh. 4th game in a row.
We keep doing this though, dude. We keep saying like, but they gotta go play Syracuse. Oh, they got a game against Duke. Oh, they travel to Raleigh. Yeah, because we're so used to them slipping up in these spots. And I've been the one who's been trumpeting that on this podcast, and you've been agreeing with me that there's going to come a time. There's a time that comes where the rent comes due, but Georgia Tech then put this together.
Yeah.
So this is more of what you would like to see.
Yeah. I think if there's a trend that concerns me more than anything, it is their games on the road this year have been where they have been a little bit too close, notably. That's the Colorado game. That's the Wake Forest game. And that's the Duke game. All 3 of those were like last minute, 1 score kind of situations where, you look at kind of what those teams are, what you want a top 10 undefeated team to be. You'd hope they weren't such squeakers, but
yeah,
I just, I saw the opening line there was like 4.5. I mean, that's an NC State team that's trying to fire its coach potentially,
it's now Georgia Tech 6.5.
Okay.
Night game in Raleigh.
Yeah. NC State's their own ball of wax. We'll get to them here in a minute, but
if Virginia Tech can win in Raleigh, Georgia Tech can too. I believe in you.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
Fair point. Yeah, we'll get to that on the preview. But with the bye week coming after that, I just you worry about being distracted or anything like that. But it's all right in front of them. They got three games left against ACC teams, and they'll be favored in every one of them. And I mean, you win those 3 games, you're going to Charlotte. Nobody can say anything else about it. So, we'll see if they can do it. As you mentioned, by the way, Haynes King, barring some crazy turn of events these next couple weeks, barring some injury that knocks him out and he's not able to play or something like that, this guy absolutely should be in New York at the ceremony. I don't know if he should necessarily be holding up the trophy or not, but what I do know is that he is the best player. He's the quarterback. He is leading an undefeated top 10 team late into the season. He's not turning the ball over. He is putting up numbers in terms of touchdowns and yards and all of that. But the funny thing is, and I thought about this earlier today, Mike, is that the thing is numbers and wins and all that, those don't win you the Heisman. What wins you the Heisman are votes. Votes win the Heisman because on some level, ultimately, it is a popularity contest. So it is a marketing campaign. It's getting people talking about it and interested. And so I'm starting to hear that conversation nationally pop up at times. And it's nice to have a performance like this, 300 yards through the air, 5 touchdowns, almost 100 on the ground, like all that. That's the kind of thing that can spark a late season Heisman campaign where people start looking and saying, wow, his numbers on the year actually look pretty good. And he's completing all these passes and he's scoring all these touchdowns and they're winning a lot of games and he's the quarterback and he's the best player and all that,
Georgia Tech is also going to be on national TV on big networks a lot down the stretch because they are a top 10 team. They're going to get some better TV spots for the ACC down the stretch here.
Yep. And
more eyeballs. A 7:30 game on the road in Raleigh on ESPN2 will get some eyeballs next Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. That people will watch that game.
Got to have a good showing.
It's on a major network in a primetime slot. Got to have a good showing.
Yep. So really happy with how Georgia Tech looked in this game. Really impressed. They never really let Syracuse into this game. The Syracuse of it all, we need to mention them. Ricky Collins, stats don't look terrible in the box score, but he just, I can see where he is the guy that has the physical tools. He's got a big arm. He is mobile. He can run a little bit, but it looks a little bit like the game is a little bit too fast for him at times or something. Like he's just not comfortable making decisions and in the split second being able to throw the ball and put it in the place that he wants to put it. Like, I wonder a little bit with experience, does the game slow down a little bit and does he settle in a way that he hasn't yet? But
yeah,
it's like there were guys open for him to hit and there were opportunities that he had and he just can't quite put it together just yet.
Yeah. Yep. And he didn't really have a running game and hasn't had a running game to really help him here.
Right.
Syracuse, they had 33 carries for 116 yards. And then Yassine Willis also had a 41-yard run in there to kind of inflate the stats a little bit. But down for down, it was not very good running the ball here for Syracuse. So
a couple of chunk plays in there that make the numbers look better. But in all, it seemed like Georgia Tech really focused on stopping the run and making Collins beat him with his arm, which, completed plenty of passes, but not able to do a whole lot of damage with them. That was something else I thought about after the preview that I wondered about. And I think we saw it a little bit after halftime where they basically hit 2 plays and went down and scored a touchdown, 75 yards in 2 plays. Was Syracuse receiving core is actually quietly pretty talented. And thinking about that going against a injury depleted Georgia Tech secondary right now, I was wondering if that was going to be a problem, but the guys were able to step up and, make sure that it wasn't an issue. But
it's hilarious. Trevor Pena left Syracuse for Penn State. I think he was going to greener pastures, and now both programs suck.
I thought that was going to work out really well for him and Penn State, and it has not.
Got it back though.
Yeah.
Worked out okay for him.
A couple people in the comments, by the way, have mentioned Jordan Allen. It was a freshman, got into this game because Malik Rutherford, we found out shortly before game time, Malik Rutherford was out after injuries sustained last week. Jordan Allen played a really good game, 6 catches for 67 yards. He's got some real athleticism and speed to him. He could be a real weapon and a real problem for the Jackets here, even maybe down the stretch, but certainly in future years. He's got some potential there. Want to shout him out.
There you go.
Yep. Let's see. I think we got everything from the comments. Appreciate the people all joining us. Disaster Master, I think that's the first time joining in. Welcome. Good to see you.
Hell of a handle.
Yeah, let's go. Also wanted to call out Nico Danger was in the comments earlier. I don't know if he's still with us or not, but shout out to the people. Appreciate you joining us here Sunday night talking about the ACC this weekend.
Yep.
Good to move on, Mike.
We are. The people are clamoring for Wake SMU in a second.
Well, they should be clamoring for section103.com where you can use the promo code GOACC at checkout for 10% off your first order. Things like t-shirts like this one, hats like this one, hoodies, polos, sweatshirts, things for men, women, children, babies, something for the entire family. Go get it all at section103.com. Once again, use promo code GOACC at checkout for 10% off your first order. Things with the official Tech Gold, the official word marks, everything's officially licensed. It all looks great, feels great, highly recommended. We love ours. You'll love yours. Shout out to Steven and the gang. Appreciate their support as always. New products coming out all the time, so keep it tuned there. Follow them on the social medias. You'll find out about certain deals after Georgia Tech has big wins, not only in football, sometimes in other sports as well. So go check them out there. And finally, they also have LSU, Georgia Southern, and Kennesaw State in their lineup. So if you have family or friends that are looking for some Christmas gifts, Hanukkah gifts, whatever, over the upcoming season, might be some opportunities there as well. Last time, use promo code GOACC at checkout for 10% off your first order. Once again, appreciate Steven and the gang for their support.
And if you say you don't like the ad reads, Steven will personally hunt you down, and we'll make sure to help him.
That's right. We'll tell him where to find you.
Yes. Just joking, FBI.
We're not talking about them yet. Not yet.
Oh, yeah, that's
we'll
coming.
get there. Let's go to Winston-Salem.
Jesus. SMU.
Wake Forest 13, SMU 12. A brutal showing offensively from the Ponies first off.
All right. Yeah, this was really bad. Okay. Let's read the let's do a dramatic reading of the drive chart for SMU. You ready? We can do it by half. Let's do the first half first.
Dan Rubenstein's bit here. Anyways, go ahead.
Punt, downs, punt, field goal, fumble, punt, field goal, punt, interception, fumble. So you had 3, 6, I think I counted 9, 11 first half possessions.
I don't know. That's a lot.
And you mustered 6 points.
So how many of these drives ended without first downs now that I'm looking at it?
A lot of 3 and outs, Joey, for both teams here in the first half.
And also 3 turnovers, not to mention 1 turnover on downs.
Missed field goals. Yeah.
This was definitely a football game.
It was bad. Second half wasn't much better. This was bad for SMU. Real bad. Wake fumbled with, what was it, about 4 minutes to play? A little under.
2 minutes to play.
So they fumble with 2 minutes to play. SMU gets the ball back here, right? And SMU's leading. Okay. It's 12 to 10. 12 to 10. Barn burner. Wake fumbles. Looks like the game is over. Social media thought it. People in the stands thought it. The announcers thought it.
Wake's got 1 timeout.
Wake has 1 timeout remaining here.
You need a first down to put the game away at worst.
3 plays, 8 yards, punt. And then Wake Forest with no timeouts, Joey, no timeouts. They get the ball with 6 seconds remaining. No timeouts. Purdy throws a 25-yard pass. They run up, right? Because it's college football. Clock stops until you spot it. They spike the ball with 4 seconds left. And literally by the skin of their teeth on a 50-yard field goal at the horn, beat SMU. This was embarrassing for the Mustangs. This was embarrassing. Now, we saw talked
Great
about
coaching
this.
job by Jake Dickert, by the way, and that
A
staff.
game, excellent job by Jake. This Wake deserves a lot of credit. They're 5-2, 2-2 in the league. They're going to a bowl game. They're going to make a bowl game. Like closing stretch, they'll win one of those games, right? One out of their final 5, they'll find one.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to a bowl game. Unbelievable coaching job by Jake Dickert. But this is really bad for SMU. Okay. You're coming off of a win in Death Valley where you looked really good. And we talked about this on the preview, and you predicted this, Joey. You said that SMU would cover and maybe even win this game outright. And that's exactly what they did. The path to get there was pretty surprising. Sorry, that Wake would do so. It was surprising to me, Joey, that SMU could not move the ball at all here. It was a little less surprising that Wake Forest had trouble moving the ball on SMU. That wasn't a huge surprise to me. But SMU coming out looking like I don't know what offensively and struggling to pick up first downs. What they finished? They finished with was it 4 for 17 on third down, something like that, and
yeah,
eight first downs. I mean, that's embarrassing.
Yeah,
against a Wake Forest defense that has played hard but is not very good.
Yeah,
really weird result here for SMU.
Under 4 yards per play for SMU. I mean, they were going up against a really, really good Clemson defense in the ACC championship game last year, and they weren't putting up those numbers, right? Like SMU, since joining the conference and even before then, like this is one of the worst offensive performances I've seen from them in years. And again, not to take anything away from Wake in the way that defense is playing, because they're playing their tails off, and I think they're probably playing above their heads, in terms of output versus talent level. But again, that speaks to the coaching job I think that Jake Dickert and that staff is doing. I did not, I want to go back and mention the conversation that I had with Connor O'Neill in the preview coming into the season. It didn't sound all that optimistic. The conversation that he and I had off camera about it was even less optimistic. Let's put it that way. Yeah. I never thought that Wake would be 5-2 here going into November.
I mean, they're good. They're a missed offsides call from 6-1.
Sure. And Wake fans will remind you of it at every chance they get on social media.
I mean, I wasn't trying to do that. I was just trying to say, like, they were in that game too. Like, it wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they have. It's funny looking back at week 1 where they beat Kennesaw State 10-9. It was like, this might not be good. But
yeah,
they're on a heater here. They've won 3 in a row in the ACC, and they're playing their tails off every week. And buddy,
they're probably going to win this week.
They're going to Tallahassee next weekend.
Yep. Probably going to win.
I saw somebody say they were an 8.5-point dog going down there, which I said, what's the money line price I can get on that? Because I know which team wants to be there a lot more, and it ain't the Noles.
It's still not available right now.
Damn it.
Probably because they don't want you to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So shout out to Wake for finding a way to get it done here. Again, mostly with your backup quarterback, who the quarterback situation, nobody's really excited about, either way, I don't think, but they keep finding ways to get it done. And in a game like this with 5 turnovers from your offense, again, some of this is credit to Wake's defense. Some of this is looking at SMU's offense like, what the hell was that? And some discussions. I mean, Kevin Jennings, clearly not 100%, probably not anywhere close to it. But, I mean, again, impressed with Wake here, but kind of blown away by the wheels just completely coming off for SMU here.
Yep.
So, yeah, weird game. Weird game to say the least. Nooners in Winston-Salem. What can you say? But
I got a quick question. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. I can't.
We just can't see you.
Yeah. What the hell?
Yeah. I don't know.
All right. Just vamp a little bit. I'll be back. I'm leaving. Come back.
I was going to say you and Scott both were frozen there for a second, I thought, and I was like, might be on my end, but apparently it's not. So
just me. The screen looks black on my screen.
That's all we see.
It's black on my screen too. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna leave and come back.
All right, we'll see you in a
All
second.
Goodbye.
Yeah, Scott, good on Wake for getting the win here, but yeah, pretty miserable showing for SMU on offense, and I think cause for concern about the Ponies moving forward. I mean, you could say that this was a look-ahead spot for them. They've got Miami coming to town next weekend, but I don't know if that's what this was. This was so incredibly unfocused for them as well.
Maybe 2 long road trips in a row. I don't know.
Yeah, back to back at Clemson and at Wake. I also don't think it was a letdown because I didn't feel like SMU treated the Clemson win as like some big monumental, like we got the monkey off our back kind of situation either.
Yeah,
I don't know, just an odd showing for them and very uncharacteristic of this Rhett Lashley SMU team over the last several years.
Agree.
Maybe Rhett Lashley is keeping an eye on the job board out there, and Arkansas has an opening in theory, and Florida has an opening and not in theory, they do, and LSU has an opening. Auburn, his former employer, might have an opening here in theory very soon. No, I'm just making stuff up.
All right.
Anyways,
you want to keep moving?
Yeah, we should probably keep moving. Hopefully Mike rejoins soon. Wake 13, SMU 12 in a, again, very much an American football game that was played. Scott, where do you want to go next?
What about Pitt?
What about Pitt? Pitt 53, NC State 34. Buddy. I tweeted this out. And this was like early fourth quarter, and I think it actually got a little bit worse from here. So it's around the time that Pitt missed a field goal early in the fourth quarter. Can we talk about what the drive chart was here for NC State's defense? Mike's hard restarting, so this will be a second. Scott, do you want to join me in the big window here for a second?
Okay.
Just you don't have to. Uh-oh.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. That'll work.
Sure.
Okay. NC State's defense trying to stop Pitt's offense. Here we go. Pitt, touchdown, field goal, touchdown, punt, touchdown, punt, touchdown. Field goal, touchdown, field goal, missed field goal, touchdown, interception, end of game. There were 3 Pitt drives, not including the end of game drive, that ended in Pitt either scoring or making a scoring attempt.
I didn't have Pitt hitting the over by themselves on my bingo card.
I didn't either. And what's funny is that this was, that one of those Pitt touchdowns, it was 24-21 just a couple minutes before halftime. Like, this was competitive and close, and then all of a sudden, Pitt just hits the gas, and NC State can't keep up at all.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I didn't catch any of this game live, so I caught some highlights later. I don't think I'd be best at analyzing it. But again, like I said, Pitt scoring 53, not on the bingo card. Mm-hmm. Why wasn't this kid Heinzel playing all year? I don't get it.
I don't know. I can't figure it out because Pitt lost that game to West Virginia, and then they lost the next week to Louisville, and they made the quarterback change, and all of a sudden their offense has like somewhat caught fire. So they go into Tallahassee with a freshman quarterback, and Heinzel's looked good, man. Like, what was going on in practice that made him think, yeah, Holstein's still our guy? Was this purely like a locker room chemistry kind of situation? Like, he's our quarterback, he's still our quarterback, or like, I don't know. Like, and where did this Heinzel kid come from? He's just like a 3-star out of nowhere, all of a sudden looking like freaking, not quite Johnny Football, but
shades of Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, exactly. Right-handed Kenny Pickett.
Since Heinzel started playing a few weeks ago, they've scored over 30 points in every game he started, and damn near 50. And well, obviously this game, but they scored 48 against Boston College. Was his first game in. So 48, 34, 30, 53.
Yeah.
So I don't know why. I don't know.
Yeah. I think there is something to be said about level of competition on those matchups for what it's worth, but doesn't take away from him just being absolutely surgical in the games that he's been in.
Sticking, I'm back. Sticking Joey in the in the producer box there was pretty funny.
It wasn't intentional.
I know it was not intentional, but it made me laugh.
Yeah.
My computer just decided it didn't want me to podcast anymore tonight, I guess. So that was fun.
You're working too hard.
Yeah. That was a lot.
Mike, we're talking about CJ Bailey being surgical and perfect.
I mean, those are two adjectives I would certainly not use to describe CJ Bailey after watching this.
But you would use them to describe Mason Heinchel, which he was in this game. We
Was.
already went through the drive chart. Yeah, that NC State's defense had nothing for Pitt's offense in this game.
No. Now we'll see them again in awards.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Did we get an update, by the way, on Justin Jolie from this game? So he had 6 for 101 and 2 touchdowns. One of the touchdown passes he caught was a wide receiver, like a double pass from Teddy Hoffman.
Yep.
And then it turned into the old Greg Jennings meme of putting the team on his back, like he's hobbling his way to the end zone.
hobbling up the sideline. Yeah.
So much so that Greg Jennings himself tweeted the play out.
Yep.
Did he pull something? Did he hurt him? Like, did we get an update on, like, is he okay?
I believe, well,
he's one of their best players.
Unable to return with leg injury.
At least the thought on television was that he was cramping up or he suffered some sort of strain, which I think is probably the leader in the clubhouse, but I have not seen an update.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Weird year for NC State, man. They're the only team that's beaten Virginia. What that's worth.
In a non-conference game.
They also have the win over Wake Forest, the only game that Wake has lost in conference, and yet they kind of got beat by Duke. They got beat by Virginia Tech. They've got smoked by Notre Dame and now by Pitt. Like, I don't know. I'm starting to hear, again, it feels like this situation in Raleigh with Dave Doran is slowly bubbling a little bit more week by week.
Just remember, everybody in the comments, for those of you that have been with us for the full decade we've been doing this show, which cannot be many of you, but if you are an OG listener, you'll remember that Joey has tried to get Dave Doran fired for damn near the entirety of this podcast.
I think it was around the time the world shut down with COVID that I showed up with my big sheet of research on what NC State had done with all the talent, and
it was the most research Joey has ever done for this podcast. Was that show in particular? You came prepared.
Yeah.
Not that you don't ever. I would never say that you're not unprepared. That's not something that I would say. We're always prepared.
You wouldn't?
Not to the listeners with a straight face.
That's right. That's fair.
While we're live.
Hey, never wrong, just early.
Never wrong, just early. Correct.
That's right. Yeah, very weird year for NC State. Defensively, man, they didn't have it here, and
yeah,
I don't know. I worry about a game like next week. You've got I'm talking about the Georgia Tech thing. It's a home game. It's a night game. You got a top 10 team coming into your building. I could see it being a little bit of a Super Bowl last stand kind of situation. But I could also see that being where if they're down by 10 with 5 minutes till halftime, they might just fold up their beach chairs and go home and be done. I don't know.
Does NC State make a bowl game, Joey?
4-4. Georgia Tech hold on. Oh, crap. Where'd it go? Hang on.
At Miami.
Home
against Florida State. Home against Carolina.
I'm
going to say no.
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say they beat the Noles and North Carolina at home. But
I'm going to say they beat North Carolina at home.
Yeah. They're going to beat the Noles. Mike, we are fading Florida State. Okay.
With a passion. You're right. They're going to a bowl game. You're right.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, Obviously, it gets a lot easier if you upset one of the next couple teams that you play. But I would say at home against Georgia Tech probably a lot easier than going into Miami and beating the Canes. But
yeah,
we will see. I think NC State is still in position to make a bowl game, but it's getting dicey, man.
It's getting late early.
It is. Anything else in this game?
2 left.
Pitt 53, NC State 34.
Louisville
All right.
38, Boston College 24. Yeah.
We're going to finish in the right place. Yeah,
We
number
are.
19, Louisville 38, Boston College 24. Again, a super unfocused effort here, I felt like, from Louisville. Just dumb turnovers, dumb penalties. They racked up 500 yards. Like they had to score late to really put this away, but was not impressive with the way that Louisville looked. I thought they had to avoid the letdown here. They kind of did, but if Boston College were a somewhat more formidable opponent, they very well could have gone in and won this game last night.
Yeah, I was very underwhelmed with Miller Moss. Thought he was very pedestrian. I thought Louisville's rushing attack, it looks really good stats wise. But if you watch this game, it was a couple of big runs, really, is what made the difference here. They ran for 317 on 31 carries. So the box score will tell you they averaged 10 yards per clip. I'm telling you, if you watch this game, they ran it fine. They did not run it as well as the box score indicated.
140 yards on 2 carries.
On 2 carries, yeah. And they finished with 3-7. So, I mean, that tells you everything you need to know. They had 29 carries for whatever 317 minus 140 is.
Like 170 or something, which, again, not terrible, but not wildly dominant either.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, it was just fine.
Yeah.
It was fine. I was actually more annoyed watching Louisville's defense, truthfully. You forced 3 turnovers here, which is obviously a good thing, but yeah, I mean, Boston College being able to throw the ball a little bit here, I think, is kind of the takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
Boston College did not run the ball well here,
but
they did sling it around a little bit. And yeah, Louisville just looked very pedestrian for large parts of this game and just did not finish drives consistently and just let BC hang around, and never thought Louisville was going to lose this game. But I mean, a gross watch. It was a gross watch.
Yeah.
So
I think weather was a factor in this one, if memory serves. But as mentioned, I mean, Louisville's defense did have more than one pretty rough coverage bust where Boston College hit long pass plays, scored touchdowns on plays where guys were just wide ass open. Like Louisville's defense just forgot to cover them, lost them in the pattern. And again, that wasn't happening a week ago against Miami. Like they were very focused, I thought, in South Florida. They were not focused in this game. And again, thankfully, Boston College, not quite the team that's going to be able to beat them with that. But, this was not Louisville's single best effort of the year, even in a win by 2 scores. You could see a little bit of the frustration boiling over with Jeff Brom too, which, if you ever see Jeff Brom looking really happy on a sideline, something's wrong.
The first time? Oh, I was going to say.
Yeah, there might be an imposter kind of situation. Like that's on the table, but he looked especially frustrated with a couple of the throws that Miller Moss made or didn't make. And again, a lot of different ways I can say the same thing, but Louisville is the better team, but not their best effort of the year.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Is Boston College going to win an ACC game this year, Mike?
So they're 0-5 in league now, right?
Not looking good.
It is not looking good. They have SMU, Georgia Tech, and Syracuse remaining in conference.
That's
play.
after the Irish come to town next weekend, by the way.
That's not an ACC game, but that's not what you asked.
Right,
Yeah.
but also, y'all want to see a dead body? Because
I know. What did that open at?
Oh, man.
And
20?
Notre Dame
27.5.
minus 29.5.
There you go.
What
See, that was
opened
close.
Yep. So
We haven't played Guess That Line yet, like we talked about on some of the recaps so far this year. But in any case,
we can play it with Miami in a second if you want to.
SMU and Georgia Tech at home, and then at Syracuse to end the year. I mean, at Syracuse is basically your only shot. And I understand that those other two games are at home, and maybe you get a just total clunker New England in November kind of effort from SMU, but I don't see it. And honestly, you're going to be an underdog at Syracuse. Even with the problems that Syracuse has had, like Boston College is circling the drain right now. It feels like
it's bad. Yeah, it's bad.
And some of it's injury related, health related. Like that's not helping anything. But I think there's also probably some somewhat deeper issues going on there in Chestnut Hill.
My pretty sure I had a under win total bet on Boston College that I've that hit, obviously.
Yeah. Joe,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I actually had over 5.5 wins. That's actually not going to hit.
That ticket is kindling.
That is that's on fire.
What an idiot. Oh, what a loser.
That is a big loser.
Joe, MFTV family. Is that game over yet? Or are they still reviewing something? Which,
Yep.
Another banner performance from the
God.
ACC officiating in this game.
Horrible.
Oh my gosh. As a guy that was the producer's pick of the week was the under, and I just was hate watching this entire second half. I was just like, what is happening? Like, yeah, it went over, but like, I was just so disappointed.
The way that it went over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boston College scoring 24 points against Louisville's defense was not on my bingo card for what that's worth.
Right. Yeah. I was seeing this more. Louisville scoring 38 and having the defensive performance that they did with all those turnovers. I said, oh, well, didn't expect. Yeah, exactly. Boston College to get close to 20. So
Yeah. That's all I got in this game, Mike. Anything else?
Moving on to the game we've all been waiting for.
Louisville 38, Boston College 24. All right. Somebody call up Cash Patel. Number 9,
Seriously.
Miami, 42, Stanford 7. And look, there's not that much interest. Like Miami squashed Stanford like they were going to. We're mad because we had Stanford plus 30.5 locked up. This game was tied at halftime. It was 7-all because Miami, by the way, with like a minute left in the first half, scored to tie it.
Yes.
Stanford was leading most of this game up until halftime.
Thanks to a touchdown pass, Scott, from Benny
Ready?
G. I'm ready.
Ooh. Place changing the mood here.
A late night. A late night. ACC recap going.
Yeah. Light a candle.
Well, I was going to say light a candle and get comfortable. Yeah.
Turn the lights down here a little bit. I don't know.
Jeez. Oh, man.
Yeah. Ben Gilbranson plays, honestly, a pretty clean, good game in the first half. And then,
I was going to say, not full game, though.
and then, yeah, back-to-back interceptions in the second half that set Miami up for a couple of short field touchdowns that really, did a disservice to us. But most importantly, Mike, Miami gets the ball with 6 minutes left in the game. They're up 35-7. 30.5, we're good. They work it down. They work it down. They work it down. They've got 1st and 10. They get a first down basically going into the 2-minute timeout. They've got 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. They're throwing it. Why are we passing? What is this? EJ Williams? Did he get in the game for Miami? Is that who that was?
Yep.
Anyways, we're throwing it incomplete. So now we're stopping the clock.
Yep.
Which again, don't tell me that like this is the way to handle this game when you're up by 28 points.
Yep.
They're running it. They're running it again. We got 3rd and 2 at the 4.
All you have to do is literally fall forward, get the first down, take a knee. Let's all go home with winners.
Yep. And instead, they're stopped short. And now it's 4th and 1.
Good comment in the chat, Nuke Jacket. We know Mario doesn't know how to take a knee. Yeah,
what
Georgia
I'm
Tech
saying.
fans remember that well. Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
Is the victory formation just not in his playbook? Like
I don't know.
We all know what it was here. He was trying to cover. We had Michael Irving on the sideline, literally screaming after they get this touchdown, 41 on the sideline. Like they're covering the spread. People, Mike added in earlier that they're hitting their team total.
Yep.
So Michael Irvin was about as excited about that last score as my son was when he looked up and saw one of the games was 6-7. Like,
oh God.
Anyways,
I might have to kick you again from your own podcast. Get out of here.
You guys deserve better than this.
I had
Anyways,
Scott. I mean, this is gonna make me sound old. I had Scott explain to me what that was last weekend, which is the first time I'm very online, and I had no idea what that was.
And I only know about this because our neighbors have 4 kids. Their 8-year-old told me. That's the only reason I know this.
Yeah, but I mean, I've never felt more washed. And then every touchdown celebration this weekend, I'm seeing somebody run into the end zone, celebrate with the students, and all the students are I'm like, what is happening?
It's okay. I've made it my personal mission in my house to make it not cool anymore by just dropping it in the most unfunny places possible. So I'll give you an update on that later. Anyways, 30 seconds left, 4th and 1 at the 3, and Miami punches it in and scores to hit the to cover 30.5. I was pissed.
Yeah.
I was pissed.
Yep.
And as I said before, if anybody asked this question to Mario in the post-game press conference, the only answer that I will accept was I knew what the number was, which, by the way, is okay. We're making the FBI Cash Patel jokes in here, and obviously going off with the the Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier situation from last week. Like, we're making jokes. The coach is allowed to know what the number is and make decisions accordingly. That's allowed. Can we just admit it, though? Just tell me that's what you're doing. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, Lane Kiffin had a on-field interview at some point this year. He goes, I think we covered the spread.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
forget what game it was, but I was like,
yeah, we're not allowed to use inside information to bet it, but coaches are certainly allowed to make decisions as long as they are not personally invested. But if you're invested in your boosters being happy, go for it. Punch it in. That's fine. But just tell me when you do it. That's all I'm saying. Be honest.
Sickening.
Miami had a bad time running the ball in the first, probably in the first half, probably in the first 35 to 40 minutes of this game.
I was gonna say for most of this, they were well into the third quarter before they decided that they remembered how to run. Yeah,
that was really kind of my only meaningful takeaway here. Was this is the second week in a row that Miami has not impressed me running the ball. The offensive line has not impressed me, and for a unit that is supposed to be a top 5 unit nationally, might be worth monitoring moving forward.
I would agree. Couple of weird performances for Miami here.
Yeah. A Miami team in the back half of the season losing focus and not really performing to their standard. That's crazy.
There are 5 games left, and 3 of them are on the road, including this Saturday against SMU. Joey, let's play a game of Guess That Line.
Miami at SMU. Miami favored by 11.5.
10.5. Nice job.
Oh, nice. All right.
Open to 10.5 as well. Has not moved.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. It's a decent number.
That is a decent number.
Not the best matchup for SMU, I don't think. But
I mean, Kevin Jennings, if he can't run, gonna be a problem.
Yeah, exactly. If he's a sitting duck back there, that's gonna be a problem for the Ponies.
Yeah.
But we shall see. Anything else on this game?
Good to go to awards.
Let's do it. Miami 42, Stanford 7. Awards. Pull this up, do this, and here we go. The Go ACC Moment of the Week. I've got a couple contenders.
We had a nomination, I think, in the chat from N. Dennis, who said that the Wake Forest field goal was so close that ESPN actually credited SMU with the win for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's our winner. I didn't know that happened.
Always see that.
Yeah.
We had a couple of shirtless dude student sections this weekend.
Hokies, baby.
Apparently that's like a trend or something they were saying on the Virginia Tech broadcast. I didn't know getting shirtless at a college football game was a trend, but I've done that before.
It started a couple weeks ago at Oklahoma State, and it's awesome and hilarious and everything else.
You got to be on an interim to do it, I think.
Dudes rock.
All right.
Dudes rock.
Dudes rock. The Brian Van Gorder Memorial You Tried Award. I'm going to say this one goes to NC State's defense.
Yeah.
Trying to get a single stop on Pitt's offense. It didn't go very well.
Quick intermission. Dave Brown Bourbon Hunters, strippers and gamblers, go cards. Great comment. Yep. The ACC officials.
Yeah.
Bad. I mean,
Also
real bad in the Louisville BC game. Real bad in the Virginia Tech Cal game.
Yeah.
Just bad.
Just bad.
Not great. Not great. Now, why did I use NC State? Maybe NC State gets the Bobby Petrino Memorial You Didn't Try Award on defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a tough showing.
I'd say Cal trying to stop the run.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
That
one,
was
too.
a little bit brutal. Yeah. Go with that. Kobe Bryant Memorial Volume Shooter of the Week.
Literally pick your player on SMU
Mm-hmm.
or Benny G going. I think Benny G is the winner. 9 of 21 for 50 yards.
Look, cross-pollinating the songs here.
If you ever wanted to know what Kenny G and Yakety Sax would sound like, boy, do we have a podcast for you.
Yeah.
Benny G went 9 of 21 for 50 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. Kobe.
I'll throw in Kendrick Raphael from Cal, who did score 3 touchdowns, but it took him 20 carries and only 71 yards to get there.
Wasn't the most impressive way to do it.
Kobe. Yeah. Mike, any other unsanctioned awards for this week?
Yeah, Queen Elizabeth II Memorial You Died Award goes to Syracuse.
I think so.
Honorable mention NC State, but they keep winning awards tonight, so we're gonna.
Yeah.
Is it winning an award? Being
The
granted
awarded.
the award?
I was gonna say
Earning.
awarded an award. Participation trophy. That's
Yeah.
really all that is.
There you go. Good week. Team of the week.
Wake Forest?
I think it's got to be Wake for pulling a rabbit out of a hat.
Knocks off SMU for the first team of the regular season in ACC play.
Yep.
Regular season is important.
I think I also saw a stat that was SMU's first conference loss, spending back to their time in the American. Also,
Mhm.
like 2 years in the American or something. I don't remember exactly what the date was.
I think it was at least 23.
Yeah,
Oh, we can check that here. Hang on. This is important. An hour and a half into the show.
not that bad.
Let's see.
Honorable mention. Honorable mention. Team of the week to me is Stanford for doing everything they could to cover the spread, and Miami is just butt heads.
Yeah. SMU's last conference loss at Tulane, November 17th, 2022.
Yep. So they went the last year in the American undefeated.
That's an insane run of undefeated conference play for SMU. Shout out to the Ponies. Player of the week?
I'm going to say Kyron Drones because I feel like I need to because my alma mater finally won a football game, but I think Haynes King is deserving as well.
Heinschel.
I'll go Haynes King. And yeah,
And
Mason Heinschel, the other guy.
Yep.
There was someone else I saw. Where was it? Somebody had 3 sacks this week. I forget even what game that was in as I was scrolling. Anyways.
Kedu Luave for Cal had 2 and like 19 tackles. So he faded a bit in the second half, but he was a force in the first half.
I
Yeah.
think that dude's going to be in the league. He's pretty damn good.
He's a stud. Yeah.
He can play.
He's a stud. There is some sort of Terry Rozier indictment award that we can give to Mario Cristobal. We got a prominent ACCer getting arrested this week. I think we can work up an award for that. I'll workshop it.
We can use the Miami Catch and Shade Award because Rozier got arrested while playing for the Miami Heat, right? So
Yep.
yeah, there you go.
He played at Louisville in college.
Bang. So
there you go.
Miami Catching Shade Award of the week. If you're in Miami, you're catching shade from FBI investigations.
Terry Webb had a couple of sacks for SMU. I can't find it. Oh, well, whatever. It's fine. That's all I got in week 9. Anything else before we get out of here, fellas?
Another efficient recap.
Oh, yeah. Highly efficient.
All in a day's work. We had Yakety sacks. We had Kenny G. We had Kenny G and Yakety sacks.
That's right.
That Kenny G drop is going to only really be useful until we find another player that's something G.
Yeah. I mean, it's really only going to be useful till the end of the regular season because
Benny G.
Stanford's bowling there.
Ken Jennings. It kind of sounds close to it.
Kevin
Kenny,
Jennings?
Kenny G. Oh, yeah,
Kenny-
Kev Jennings.
Kenny G?
Sorry.
Kenny J?
Kevy Jennings.
Kevy J.
We'll get there.
As Tony Kornheiser used to say on Around the Horn, we'll try to do better next time.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's get out of here. Let's come back and preview week 10. How's that sound? We got, what do we say, 9 games next week? We got a busy week. We got a Friday game. We got 8 games on Saturday. I think everybody is in action, if I'm not mistaken, including team number 17, Boston College, getting Notre Dame at home.
Carolina's got another weeknight game. Is this their third one this year?
Yeah.
They played on Monday. They've played on two Fridays.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That'll be something.
Yep. Everyone's playing.
It will certainly be a game that will occur.
Yeah.
Syracuse is favored right now.
Yeah,
fine.
I know. I just saw that.
Nuke Jacket, Fran Brown, you haven't showered award goes to Fran Brown.
Winners get washed.
Yeah. Which, it's been a few weeks, so
I hope someone
going
asks him
okay.
that this week. Have you taken a shower recently? He hasn't
was.
won since they beat Clemson.
So have you showered in the month of October, sir?
That was on September 20th. I hope he showered.
Yeah. Yeah, things have turned in a different direction for the Orange since then. Anyways. All right, let's get out of here. We're going to come back and preview week 10. In the meantime, we are on YouTube, youtube.com/@the-ACC Football Podcast. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you haven't already, hit the bell icon. You'll be notified when we go live to preview week 10. We'd love to have you back in the comments with us. We had a great comment section tonight. Shout out to the people. Appreciate you for being here. We're on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all those good places you find your podcasts in audio format. Twitter @FTRSJoey, @Mike McDaniel SI, together @BC Podcast ACC. Basketball Conference Podcast @gmail.com is the email address.
Nailed it.
Thank you. Mike, Scott, anything else before we get out of here?
Wednesday, Thursday? What are we thinking, boys?
Probably Wednesday, but either one's fine for me.
Either.
So
All right.
let's say Wednesday, and then people can make fun of us when it's Thursday. How's that?
Sounds
Sure.
good.
All right. Talk to y'all then. Until next time, for Mr. Mike McDaniel, for Mr. Producer Scott, I'm Joey Weaver. Thank you all so much for listening. We'll talk to you again very, very soon. Until next time, go ACC.